Hey guys, Jake here, and today I am here with my CPC Season 5 draft analysis. We are back in the CPC after going undefeated in the regular season last season, and then losing out on the playoffs. Probably it's in the past, so it's whatever. But we're definitely trying to improve. My goal for the season is to get past round 1 playoffs, hopefully to at least the finals, in which I would be content with. But yeah. CPC Season 5. So it is the same draft system as last season. We were given points to pick, I believe, 8 to 11 Pokemon, and I'm pretty excited to use the draft I got. So as you can see, the first one on your screen is Mega Gardevoir. I decided to grab Mega Gardevoir because it's something I used recently in Hive and in the NPL versus Hive League War, and I loved it. I just love how bulky, it hits so strong, and it can be so hard to switch into. Even Steels have to just respect that Focus Blast does a million, and I just love how it can hit so hard even uninvested. And like, it has so many good support options, such as like Taunt, Encore, Will-O-Wisp. But yeah, even usually just the combination of Hyper Voice, but Hyper Voice and then Focus Blast hits most teams. If not, you can just throw on Psychic. Those are really the 3 attacking moves you'll need. You won't really need much else because this thing just hits everything so hard. You can set up on stuff with Calm Mind. And yeah, I just really wanted to build around this because it's a fun Mega that I wanted to try and use again for a full season, because I didn't have it for the full season of Hive. But yeah, it's a really fun mon to use. I love all of its support options, and I was looking forward to using it again. And so next round, I really wanted Infernape, but King Damba sniped me, so unfortunately, I had to try and pick something else. So I decided to pick up Manaphy, and I know Manaphy is also a great mon, but I've just used Manaphy a lot, but it's definitely a great mon, so I'm not disappointed with it. But would have liked to try Infernape, but Manaphy is also a really fun mon. It's just an insane wall breaker. It sets up a Tail Glow and usually gets a kill. People might think it's a bit one-dimensional, but in this league we can run Z Rain Dance because non-attacking Z moves are allowed. So Z Rain Dance is just so scary because you can go for the Z Rain Dance, get plus 1 speed. All your water moves are harder. If your status is healed off with hydration, it's just amazing. And so yeah, and usually just Surf, Tail Glow, Ice Beam just hits teams really well. If not, you can throw like Energy Ball on there for a water type. It's also very good bulky. Something like a defensive Calm Mind Manaphy is always a good set. So it can overall just be a pretty good pivot as well. It has stuff like U-turn and Heal Bell if you want to try and support your team. Hard Swap is another nice option in case you want to stop like a setup sweeper. But yeah, I'm just really excited to use Manaphy again. Like, it's not, as I said, I'd rather have used Infernape, but Manaphy just wasn't so much work. As you can see, my speed tiers both hit 100 right now, so that's kind of a bit redundant, but I'm not really worried about speed tiers. These are just really good mons. Yeah, also this is the same core I had with my NPL miners versus Hive 4 draft. So yeah, next up, I just have to go with Hydreigon. Now, I wanted a really strong dragon, another just wall breaker, because as you can see with my first 3 picks, Hydreigon, Manaphy, and Gardevoir, they aren't that fast, but they are strong. And I can see just those 3 mons being incredibly difficult to prepare for. Hydreigon, it's a really good wall breaker. Like, if they don't have a great fairy to switch into, just Dark Pulse, like Draco and Flash Cannon just destroys teams. It's also a very good stall breaker if you want to run like Taunt plus Roost to beat bulkier stuff, and it's also very viable Scarfer if you want to outpace faster mons. So yeah, Hydreigon is just a mon I really wanted to try using again. It's been a while since I used it. Yeah, again, kind of a bit redundant with the speed, but these really give me strong powerhouses to build around. So yeah, next up, I decided I really wanted a good steel type, and I wanted to get it early so I don't get sniped of it. And I decided to pick up Metagross. Now, Metagross, if you don't already know, is one of my favorite Pokemon in the format. It can just do so many things as a steel type. It's incredibly hard even on a strong priority, can sweep with agility, reliable rocker. It's a good lure with great. It can just do so many things. I love it. So I'm definitely super excited to use it in CPC this season. And yeah, it gives me my first rocker, which is much needed. And yeah, usually just Earthquake and Meteor Mash hits teams really hard. Obviously, you can run other stuff like Zen Headbutt, or even like Hammer Arm. But yeah, very excited to use Metagross because it's just one of my favorite must-use in the format, and I just feel better playing with it. I just feel way much more comfortable. So yeah, I was definitely hyped. And next up, I wanted some speed. I needed some speed. I also kind of wanted a fighting type that wasn't too expensive. So, but it was also something I can definitely see myself bringing a lot. So I decided to grab up Hawlucha. Now Hawlucha has a very good base speed stat of 118, meaning it outspeeds stuff like base 115, such as like Raikou and Starmie. So yeah, it's also extremely threatening with like sub SD, Citrus Berry, and just run 13s if their team is chipped. And yeah, usually high jump kick and acrobatics is just really good coverage for other opposing teams. One thing to note is that Metagross really deals with the fairy types that Hydreigon and Hawlucha might have trouble with. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Definitely very hyped to use Hawlucha, because last time I used it, I dropped it in free agency for Lucario. But that's because Lucario, I just like Lucario more. And I felt like my team needed a wall breaker at the time. But this time, I really felt like I wanted to use Hawlucha more, because it gave me the speed that I needed. So yeah, looking forward to using Hawlucha. Next up, I decided I needed some bulk. I needed a grass type. Unfortunately, a lot of the grass types were sniped. I really wanted Superior, Growth, and Decidueye. They all got sniped. So I decided to pick up probably an inferior grass type, but I still really like it. Still very solid mon, and it is Amoonguss. Amoonguss is a good mon. Gives me some regen, which is great. Really good thing to help me take electric hits, because as you can see, my team is very weak to electric types right now. Lets me put stuff to sleep with Spore. Yeah, it's not the best ground resist, but I do have a Hydreigon to take earthquakes, and I am gonna pick up another very solid ground resist later on. So yeah, this thing can switch into water hits well. It's very bulky. It's not too passive because it has stuff like Foul Play, Clear Smog, and Spore. Not Rest. I don't know why Rest is there. Let's just put Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. It's a decent AV user, because if you want to deal with something like I don't know, Greninja, you can just slap an AV on there, and it can pretty much take any hit it wants to throw at you. So yeah, looking forward to using Amoonguss. I think this is my first time using Amoonguss, which is pretty cool. If someone wants to point out a time where I have, then go ahead, but I don't think I have. So yeah, next up, you unfortunately, you guys probably saw my picks, but whatever. I've probably told you my draft already at the time of watching this, but yeah. Next up, I decided to grab Golbat. I will be nicknaming this thing Lejon because Lejon loves Golbat. But yeah, Golbat's just a really good cheat mon just because it can provide so much for a team. It gives me my first and only form of hazard control. It can just take ground hits really well. Like it's a really good stop to like physical breakers. It is my second poison type because I got a Mungus, but I'm perfectly fine with that because I have 2 dark types to take psychic hits, and even though my ground resists aren't the best, I think I can work because they do different jobs. And yeah, this thing can just like U-turn, Brave Bird, Super Fang. Also get stuff like Taunt and Whirlwind, which are good options as well. But yeah, very good mon. Very bulky. I should be able to make it work this season. I loved when I used it in the past. So, yeah. Next up, I decided to grab because I really figured like my team needs some more speed. Because after Hawlucha, it went all the way down to my base 100s with Mega Gardevoir and Manaphy. So I decided, even though Sneasel is my second dark type, it gives me Pursuit Trapper, which Hydreigon did not offer, and Pursuit Trapping is really nice for like the ghost types that give my Manaphy and or not Manaphy, Mega Gardevoir and Metagross a hard time. So yeah, also some more priority with Ice Shard, and this mon is just pretty hard to switch into if you don't have the right counter. Its dual stats are great. If you used Weavile, you probably know how good Sneasel is, just because Icicle Crash and Knockoff hits most teams really hard. Also can throw stuff like SD, has interesting options like Taunt, Beat Up, SD, so yeah, definitely, I think Sneasel's a mon that will definitely put in the work this season. Yeah, so I had 2 rounds remaining, and I figured I really want to get Licky plus Stunfisk, because that's an amazing, just really good cheat bulk to end off my draft. Licky gives me a Wish Passer. It gives me just a glue to most teams because it can take so many hits, and yeah, it's a really good pivot. And I also wanted Stunfisk because I needed a ground type, and it gives me rocks. Because I'm definitely lacking rocks right now, but it gives me rocks. It gives me another good bird check, and Stunfisk just looked really good on my team right now. I was really excited to get those 2 mons, but then Stunfisk got sniped for me, and so I had to do a change of plan. So I still needed a ground type, and I still wanted a Wish Passer. So I decided to instead go with the route of Kangaskhan instead of Licky because it is cheaper, and it allowed me to get a better ground type. So Kangaskhan is I've drafted Kangaskhan like 3 drafts in a row now, and I know I'm gonna get hate on that for that, but I am a very big advocate of Kangaskhan being a very good cheap mon, just because it was only 4 points, and if you look at this thing's bulk, when invested, it can take hits really well. Like, that's a base 105 HP and base 80 defenses, which is really solid. So if you want to make this thing like a special wall to take on threats, then it can do that. It gives me another Wish Passer, so I have the dual Wish Core that I love with Kangaskhan and Mega Gardevoir. And yeah, this thing can just eat hits for days. Throw out stuff like Body Slams, Roars, Ice Punches, Earthquakes. So yeah, this thing is too passive for being Wish Passer. It's a very feasible attack stat. So yeah, that's Kangaskhan. And last up, I decided to grab Seismitoad. Would have rather had Stunfisk than Seismitoad, because this thing does give me a second water type and on with a 4 times weakness, so it's not the best electric check. But Seismitoad gives me more rocks. It gives me a water immunity. But yeah, big thing was rocks and ground types. So like, cause mons can't just Volt Switch on my team for free. I'm not too happy about Seismitoad, but my team needed a ground type. Seismitoad usually does its job well. It even has cool options like Gaster Acid. Yeah, it's not a bad mon, but I just would have preferred Stunfisk. But yeah, thank you for watching. This is my CPC Season 5 draft. Definitely, I love this draft a lot, though. I honestly felt like it would have been perfect. Well, not perfect, but I would have like been so happy with it if I had the Stonefisk. But oh well, snipes happen. Yeah, thank you all for watching. See you guys next time. Week 1 will be coming up soon, so be sure to look forward to that. And yeah, see you.